Welcome back, everyone. We are here again with the All Hallows League. I'm BlueberryYum with DBDLeague, and today is going to be a spicy one. We have 3 best of 5s for you, and we're in the hot phase of our playoffs. But with all of these exciting things happening today, there is one addition, and it's not only a content addition, it's also an addition to the team because we have a new voice joining our caster team. Crumbz, welcome.
Thank you, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to All Hallows League. This is going to be, as stated, a big match. I mean, any match with Eternal, I feel like, is a big match, but this is going to be the deciding factor of who will move up and who is cut from this tournament.
Like you said, lower bracket semi-finals. We are starting with Eternal versus Rapture, so the last chance to make a run for our grand final. Then we're followed by Calamity versus Elysium, who are still up in the winners bracket, so they still have a second chance, but they're immediately qualifying if they win their sets for our grand final. Followed then at estimated 8 p.m. CET. It's going to be Severance versus whoever wins our first matchup of today. So every single one is one to keep your eyes out for. So keep in mind that we are going to be here for a long time tonight. Let's start with Eternal versus Rapture though, because Crumbz, this is a rematch.
Yes, indeed it is, and we already know that Eternal has been on a complete hot streak this whole season. I believe they've only lost once, which is completely insane of their record. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see is Rapture going to be able to boost their record and take down Eternal, or is Eternal going to continue to go like a freight train and just run everybody over? They're all dead.
Yeah, you said it. Eternal has only won once, so their track record is still making them the team to beat. However, they did take a beating facing Calamity the last time. They lost 3-2. The sets were pretty close. It could have gone either way, but the team to beat getting put down into the lower bracket, I'd still call that quite an upset. And that wasn't the first upset we had in this playoffs as well. Oracle, for example, immediately joined them, but they've been out of the competition because they lost against the Varans, who will be the team to beat in our last matchup of tonight. Eternal, we know them, we love them, they've won countless tournaments. I think we've had Nightlight being on, I don't know, 100 wins in a row, 70-ish, something like that. Rapture, on the other hand, they've been performing well under pressure, right?
They really have, and you're right. Nightlight is a complete beast. I wouldn't want to see him at night because that would actually scare me. So I really do feel bad for Rapture, but I think I have faith that Rapture is going to be able to put up a good fight against Eternal. I think we've got a lot of things that are going for them, and I think this is going to be a great one. And I hope to see Rapture putting up some sort of battle. It's going to be a trench here, all right? I think it's going to be an amazing one.
I mean, for Rapture, if you are going into this matchup as the underdog, I'm gonna say killer and map picks and bans are going to be the most important thing for you, because these are the situations where you need to pull something out of the hat. You're not gonna win against Eternal on any default M1 killer, as they've painfully had to realize in their first matchup against Eternal. Like I said, it's a rematch. They picked the Onryo, and I think they got two-staged, if I'm not mistaken. So they've probably learned their lesson, so why not go over the killer picks for today's sets?
Indeed, we've got 3 killers here. The first one being Michael Myers, who is going to be a very weird game because, as we know, with previous Ghostface sets and even Michael sets, Michael is, even though he's an M1 killer, he does have that exposed status effect that he can put on everybody, but it takes a long time to be able to get there. You have to stalk survivors, and if Eternal, who has had insane generator efficiency, and thanks to our statistics manager Toby, he has given us the amazing fact that Eternal has the highest generator efficiency out of all the teams, and they have completed, it was, I believe, 87 out of 90 total generators. So you can't really rely on the fact that Eternal is not going to be cranking out these gens. So if Rapture is not able to just get early chases, which is something that we've seen cause the downfall of a lot of teams, whether they get an early chase or not, and if they're not able to just take these people out, get these hook states now, then we're going to see them get gen rushed, and people are going to get out.
Oh yeah, they need to be on their A game from the get-go. First set,
Although,
however, yeah.
go ahead.
First set, however, is going to be Eternal's pick, right? So, not sure if they're gonna expect to win that one. It's also one of our special picks since it's going to be a tier 3 Myers immediately. Later on, we have Dredge picked by themselves, so maybe that's the one thing they have up their purse. Maybe bringing that one to throw them a curveball. And then later on, we have Oni, another Myers, T1 Myers this time, however, and possibly a tiebreaker on Nemesis. Tier 3 Myers, Crumbz. How excited are we?
Tier 3 Myers is pretty scary, and that's the thing about Myers, like I just said. The big thing about Myers is that you gotta work up that stock. You have to get to tier 3. Starting off tier 3 means that there's no taking hits, and there is no room for messing up. You gotta have long chases, especially the early game, and especially mid-game when people are on the hook and the killer is going for tunnel outs. You don't have any room to mess up. But I also think with tier 3 being active immediately, we're not going to see as much of a work to try and get all these heals and these resets, because it's not going to matter, which honestly might come and hurt Rapture, because that means more time for the generators, and as we've stated, Eternal is a beast when it comes to the objective.
The objective won't be a problem for them, you're right. I'm just thinking about how to possibly counter this. I mean, with a tier 3 Myers, even if you have stock up, I guess the healing part of it, like coordinating your team for resets and stuff like that, is something that not entirely, but kind of falls off for you. So maybe one less thing to manage. Maybe you got more time to focus on different things.
Yeah, I think that another thing too that we have to mention is that Rapture is going into here with Eternal, who's lost the game. So they're not this unstoppable force. Rapture is seeing that Eternal is big, and as bad as they are, they can lose. And that might give them a little confidence boost to say, you know what? We have a chance to win this, and we're going to fight for it.
Their momentum has been broken. And either, I mean, on the one hand, you're absolutely right, it makes them seem maybe a little less scary. On the other hand, you're like, oh, they're not gonna take the second beating. We know Eternal, they're gonna fight, and they're not gonna take this lightly. I mean, Oracle is already out. Eternal being eliminated as well, that would be the biggest upset we've had since, I don't know, 4 seasons, 5, 6.
It would be a major upset to see Eternal, the complete dominance of DBDL, to be out of the All Hallows League to the underdogs. Rapture is the underdogs here, and I think that would really give them a ton of momentum if they can say, we beat Eternal. We got them out of this bracket. So I think they really have the motivation here to go and to fight, and I honestly think they can do it. And if not, I think they can put up a good fight trying.
Okay, when you say they can do it, I'm gonna put you on the spot here. I'm not sorry at all. What's your prediction on our best of 5 tonight?
I know DBDL has its predictions, and I think, as much as I want to say Rapture can do it, Eternal's pretty scary. And I think that if I want to say Rapture, in my heart, I want to say Rapture's going to win this. Rapture can do this. But at the same time, I feel like that's going to go out the window once I hear 4gens pop on the first hook. So I feel like I have to say Eternal, but I do love watching Eternal sets because you always have that question. As good as they are, as good as all these teams and players are, it's always the question, is this going to be the match that Eternal loses? So it's always there in the back of my mind, but I do think Eternal will pull through here.
Do you dare to say by what score?
I think that Rapture will take it to the tiebreaker. I think that Rapture's going to take it to the tiebreaker. I think first set, Eternal's going to win. I think when we go to the second set is the Dredge. That was Rapture's pick. Was that Rapture's pick?
Yes.
Yeah, I think they're going to take the Dredge set, and then Eternal's going to crush them in the Oni set.
Alright. I think... I mean, I've put you on the spot, right?
I'm putting you on the spot now. What do you think?
I'm gonna call it 3-1. I'm so sorry, Rapture. I've watched Eternal fight for too long. I'm rooting for your Dredge set. I think if they're gonna get a set, it's going to be the Dredge one. But seeing an Oni, and I specifically remember Eternal Zero staging an Oni before. I'm sorry, they still have the utmost respect for me. Even though, you know, we love our upsets, I have to say, I think a 3-1 is going to be my prediction.
I think I just might be a little bit in denial here, but I'm gonna stick to what I said. I want Rapture to really I want Eternal to put up a fight, and I feel like they're gonna win, but I really want Rapture to win. That would be incredible for them to come out on top here.
It would be amazing. For the first set for Myers, though, I think our opinions go kind of hand in hand. We do expect Eternal to come out on their own pick.
Yeah, and I don't think you can blame us for that. It's Eternal. And it's an M1 killer. And I'm pretty sure Nightlight's going to be playing, so it's pretty obvious who's going to come out on top here.
Well, let's see if they maybe surprise us. Rapture, they haven't had the best run in the tournament so far. However, they've been able to pull through, especially in these high-stake situations. They, especially under pressure, have shown us determination, and they've made it into playoffs. So, let's see if maybe they can provide us with the upset of a century as we are loading into our first trial, which is going to be the Tier 3 Myers. We have Eternal on the killer's eye, and it is Zaka the monster playing it for Eternal first.
I'm very scared for Rapture here. We all know Zaka is a complete beast when it comes to killer, and we are on Hawkins Laboratory, which is indoor maps are crazy for Myers, and especially in M1 Myers, who's tier 3. It's going to be very hard to loop. I personally hate this map because of the pallets, and there is that window in main though, and we don't see a BAM on Zaka, so if they're able to play around that, I think they can maybe draw out some chases, but we also have play with your food, so that hurts, you know? You lose the obsession in a chase, and you get 5% haste, which stacks to 15%, and as well as eruption. And the trail is an interesting pick, but I believe that that's part of the rule set. You have to have Trail of Torment in your build, I think. Anyway, we're getting a kick. Trail of Torment is active. The Myers is undetectable. Trying to run him around. We actually haven't found anybody yet really to commit to a chase. We're just trying to get this stalk, which is, I think, exactly what we need to do. If we can get a stalk here early on and take advantage of this exposed early while the gens are kind of being pressured and haven't really popped yet, that's going to be what's going on here. And we do have play with your food proccing, and we are on tier 2. We're about a little less than halfway through tier 2, and tier 3 is really where this is going to pick up.
And we are getting really close to this one. Blue gave them a lot of start process. Zarkon are trying to find a second survivor. Finds the next one. I don't dare to call it a chase because I'm not sure if we're going to go for that just yet. He's mentioned it, the play with your food, however, might be an interesting choice. A lot of stock once again. But Nathan already got the red glow around him, so not too much left. And this is a disgusting spot for Zarka. I can't really follow up there because we know it's not the best to chase with the M1 killer because it tends to be almost an infinite, I guess, if you play it perfectly. First gens are coming up with a lot of progress, so let's see if Rapture's able to pop the first gens before our tier 3 is coming through.
It has been a pretty lengthy beginning game. We haven't really committed to any downs as we are playing Myers, which leaves the survivors plenty of room to get some gen progress. We already see some decent progress on multiple generators, although Zaka running around, playing a game of hide and seek, is trying to find these survivors, get his tier 3, which is very close. And I think the next chase, he's going to get it, and we're going to see our first down coming in very, very soon. Corrupt Intervention has run out, which leaves 3 more generators for the survivors to work on. And here, Myers has found his victim, and tier 3 is about to proc any minute now.
Oh, Flix, it's all on you. Now Myers getting dangerously close, but there's another pallet keeping you alive for some more time, but your team is relying on you going upstairs. Tier 3 popped another vault across the pallet and a second one at his disposal. Zaka now needs to pick up the pace, and Flix leaves this loop. However, there's only a fibber. Let's see how this room's gonna be equipped. Might be a close one. Don't do a mistake here now. Pallet drop. Zaka goes around the next one. It's not going to be it. And the first down comes in. And no gens have popped, Crumbz.
No gens have popped, which I would have thought at least one gen has popped, but we do have a ton of progress. And yeah, here we go. The main generator is about to pop. We've got about half progress upstairs, half progress on that trail gen, and we are putting all Flix, all the basement. Tier 3 Myers on basement. You cannot... That's going to be very hard to get because Myers is just going to one-shot you. So we might end up seeing a very, very quick death here early on in the Myers set with about one gen popped. Zaka is able to find the other gen with a lot of progress with the anti-kick already coming into play. And I think that gen will get done soon, but with 4 more generators, we really need to question, are these survivors going to be able to pick up the pace here and finish the generators early? Because that's going to be really big here to see if they're able to escape with any stages. And nobody has gone for the save yet. Pretty smart. We got first stage though, so I think Zaka is going to be able to camp this out. And the gen is nearby, so he's going to be able to stop that gen from getting done for now, at least.
He's got a nice spot, and oh, surprise, blew out. We know no second chance perk here because we've broke the balance landing earlier. Second down, maybe the window of time for Flix, but I'm sorry, buddy, your positioning in the basement, unlucky. I don't think your team is going to come for you just yet, because even if you go down now, Zaka is going to be back, and it's just going to be 2 people back in the basement. However, Fasty is rotating in. Second stage, and available for Flix, and that's a 3rd stage coming in for Eternal already. 1 gen done. Honestly, it's not looking too great for Rapture yet. Yes, it's a very, I'd say, killer-sided setup, the way this is going. Let's see how many more gens they can do.
It definitely doesn't help that we have 2 people in the basement and everybody is exposed. So I feel like it's very limited. I don't feel like the survivors are going to be able to go for these saves. We already have Flix on 2nd stage. And if the survivors don't make some sort of play soon, Flix is going to die. And if we have a tunnel out at 3 gens, even with how long this early game has been, if we're going to get a tunnel out at 3 gens right now, I don't think they're going to be able to have that progress boost that they need, considering they haven't really done as much as you would think against an early game Myers. We haven't seen as much progress or gens pop as you would have maybe expected. But with 2 survivors roaming around, Flix about to die on the hook, and their second stage is about to come in. Oh, the screwdriver's got hurt there. And we already have 1 survivor left.
Bye-bye, Flix, and the second stage for Blue. Fasty has rotated around. But that's about it. There's not too much going for Rapture at this moment. And remember, it's gens that they need to do here because our wind conditions have changed. This is the only opportunity we really have to rescue your mate, but
Oh, he's found.
Oh no.
I will note here that Fast does have deliverance, so even if he goes for the save and gets down, we can maybe see a play for him to get back off the hook without any repercussion of getting hooked in basement and going for the save. However, they are able to escape just barely with Zaka on the prowl, hunting down the survivor. He does find the injured who just got off the hook, so we might see an instant second stage here. And yet, that is another survivor down. 1 on the hook, 1 on the ground, with only 1 survivor left, and Zaka is searching.
Oh, and he's finding. We're on our best way to a 4K here for Zaka, the monster. Fasty, for how long can you keep this going? Can you keep us waiting for the end? But the last pellet is gonna save him from going down, but I don't think there is any more he can do.
For how long is it gonna save him?
Well, so far he's doing a good job. Let's see if they recover from the ground. I mean, if Fasty does take a hook, he does have a deliverance.
And the deliverance, who we usually see have the unbreakable, that is there as well. Although if he gets the down here, I doubt we're going to see a slug. And the slow vault is actually coming out and almost worked, but he did double back. If he would have ran with the light, he could have maybe gotten the pickup. But all that really would have done. I feel like at this point, when you really get to this part of the game where people are on the hooks and it's a battle, the slugging out, I don't think there's really much you can do. Maybe pop one more gen, but how much are you really going to be able to get yourself up after this? And the Unbreakable is not going to be able to proc. Although we do still have the Deliverance, if that means anything at all at this point, with 2 people dead.
I mean, honestly, like you said, they do have to do gens, and if they were to use the Deliverance and try to go through the hedge, it would not count. It still counts as a 4K because the gens have not been completed. Therefore, we're not even going for the Deliverance, probably. Yeah, no, their chances are gone.
This happen.
This was an amazing performance from Zaka, however, right?
I would not expect anything less of Zaka. 4K3 on Myers. I think our predictions are right so far. I think we're definitely going to see Eternal take the first set. And the only question I really have now is, how many stages is Eternal going to be able to take out?
Well, your question, my friend, will be answered very soon. Because for now, we're going to go into a break and then we will be back ASAP with trial number 2. Ryan's on the run for Rapture now. It's their turn on the killer side, taking out the survivors of Team Eternal. Just a reminder for everyone, 3 gens down and Eternal takes the first set and their own pick as well. Let's see if Rapture can pull a 180 on this one.
I don't think it's looking good for Rapture. The 4K3 is a very nearly impossible win con to beat. And I don't think it helps that Eternal's gen efficiency is going to blow away. I think last round we saw that after a pretty lengthy early game, not as many gens have popped, and the generator progress was not what you would expect. So I think if we're not able to see a much quicker early game and a quicker tier 3, I think the gens are all going to pop before we're able to even see more than like 1 or 2 hooks.
Already seeing scratch marks from multiple survivors. Maybe the first step in the right direction for Ryan. They're doing a good job at hiding though. We've seen a head peek out and it's Zaka, the monster who's been on the killer side in the trial before, and it's the Obsession as well. So we might have a chance to get those play with your food sticks going for Ryan as well. Not the worst survivor to find first.
No, it is not. And we'll, since we're talking about the build, very similar to Zaka's build with Eruption, Trail, and play with your food. But Darkness Revealed, that is a very interesting one to say the least. I don't think I've seen that really played at all. I think you'd see that more on someone like the Dredge. I was not expecting an aura reading perk like that on Myers, let alone an aura reading perk at all.
Well, I guess hiding from him now got that much harder. However, Zaka still getting all the attention from Ryan. It'll be interesting to see it if the gens have got a lot of progress yet, but as we've known Eternal, I'm expecting there to be a lot. Zaka, however, seems to have run out from juice for Ryan, so we're now switching targets. Third stack of play with your food. Nightlight takes it. Chaser now has a hard task on his hand if Ryan decides to go for it, but there's still a lot left for the tier 3 Myers, and that's our first objective, at least for Ryan.
Yes, it is, and tier 2 is already halfway done. This game, as usual, is going to start picking up once we see tier 3, and play with your food is doing numbers right now to just continuously catch up to Nightlight and get this stock, and tier 3 is about to pop any second now, but there is the red on Nightlight. We have to go and find a different survivor. What the heck was that? Is that a blast mod?
I think it was. Cheeky.
Wasting that much more time. We do have Trail of Torment active, which is going to help a little bit, and I feel like Trail is also kind of a useful perk, not only for the undetectable, but, you know, once you see that generator isn't yellow anymore, you know somebody's working on it. So, a little bit of information there if you want to try and get that out of it. And here is Spitz. Oh no, here comes tier 3.
Comes tier 3, but also 2 gens have been done already. One more and Eternal takes this. We're already at the tie condition. He needs it down. Bartha needs it. Now it's coming in. But what are the others doing on the gens? There are 3 survivors left, and I highly doubt that they've been, well, unresponsive. So we see at least 2 gens having a bit of progress, maybe even a third one. However, so far, Then already setting up for the rescue. Again, a basement hook. Ryan can't afford to camp that one out, however, so they should be able to get Spitz up and going again.
I think Eternal is in a much better position than Rapture was last time. Even though we do have the basement hook, there is too much generator progress going on, and we don't have the time or even really the ability to go and camp and get that tunnel out because generators are about to pop. We have coming into main here, we have found Nightlight, who is working on that main gen. We're probably going to go for a kick there. That gen is about to be completed any second now. So if we're not able to see this gen pop here, then we might... Oh, we did actually see the save as well onto Spitz. He's out of the basement. Nightlight is in a chase. We might see a down coming in here unless he's able... Nah, he's not able to make it. That is going to be a down onto Nightlight. Going to be the second hook, but we already see survivors are doubling up on generators. That main has a ton of progress. I just don't think we're going to be able to do anything major before another gen pops.
Nah, there's no way. Dan and Spitz are working on that gen. I think it's the last thing they got to do, and it's honestly the last thing they have to do.
I don't even think Myers is going to make it over. I think this gen is going to pop right now, and he's not even... Yep, there it is. That is going to be set number 1. Our predictions were right. Looks like Eternal is going to take this set. And the only question now is what I asked last time. How many people are going to get out? Are we going to see the 4K come in, or are we going to see Eternal get stages out of the door?
There's another down, like you said. Now it's really a show-off, or, well, I guess take it as a scrim the rest of the game. Dan is going to find himself on the hook. However, I want to comment on what Nightlight did there earlier, because you may have noticed he got live with him. So technically, the opportunity for him, especially when Ryan was kicking the gen, was there to escape the lab area, but he didn't. He purposefully stayed there because he knew the two teammates were working on a different gen to keep Ryan busy in the back end of the map, so he wouldn't have any more time to disrupt them from finishing their win condition, and it worked out perfectly. We've got Spitz on the ground now, but it's the 4th gen popped Crumbz. There might be some stages out here, let's be honest.
I mean, against Eternal, I wouldn't expect anything less, and that really just goes to show you the great communication with Nightlight there. Even though that main gen had a lot of progress, his team was like, oh, don't worry, keep him there. We'll finish this generator for you, and they did come through. And we only have 1 generator left with only 3 stages and 1 survivor on death hook. So we're definitely going to see a lot of stages out the door. And at this point, it's just trying our best to gain some confidence for the next set to see how well we can do and fight back now.
And this is another stage of the game where, we say, hello, welcome, take me. In case of that. And he's like, alright, maybe he's the B player, I'm not sure. However, we're just gonna take him. And Eternal doesn't really have to be on their A game for now.
This is the second time we've seen somebody run into Myers. I don't know about you. If I saw Micah Myers, the last thing I would want is a hug.
Listen, we do know the girlies like Michael Myers, okay? So don't judge if we're going in for a hug.
Dan is getting off the hook here. We have 3 injured survivors, which really isn't going to matter. 1 generator left, and it's up to Eternal to finish this last gen and start to open these exit gates. It's going to be an escape for now. We don't have any play with our food, which definitely helps the chase end. Yep, there's Blastmon again. Just blowing up in his face. Myers is not having a good time right now.
3 of the survivors still injured, I'm sorry. I've been caught back there. Nightlight in the chase again, the man, myth, the legend, I think our competitor with the most tournament wins under his belt.
He's definitely on a hot streak right now, and we are still at main. We've got 1 more pallet, and generator progress is spread out. So no matter where our Michael Myers goes, a different gen is going to pop. I think that this is entering the end game any second now.
Uh-oh. Heartbeats. Fine, still trying to find another survivor. Oh, there's one, but that's not the one we want. Maybe try and get out a survivor now. Preferably Spitz. And then go for a second one if you want the most stages out, but now it's Nightlight. He's a fresher.
We are looking for the fresh hooks here. Generator, we already saw a lot of progress, and yeah, there's the down on to Nightlight. That is going to be Eruption proccing, which is going to waste a little bit more time, but with how many generators there are, I don't think it's really going to help at all. This game is already pretty much decided. It's set in stone. We do have Darkness Revealed, which didn't really come into play that much this trial, so it definitely makes me question what the plan with that was, but we do see the unhook coming in here. We have a ton of progress upstairs, and yeah, this generator is gonna pop right now, even though we have the down on Dan.
Oh, nice try with the thinking Dan, didn't really work out, so then the man is out of the trial. There's still only one gen to go, but we know Eternal, they have taken this one, and I think at this point for Rapture, I think the most important thing is the mental game, because we know first set has gone to Eternal, now their own set is coming up though, and yes, they've lost this by more than a hair's length, let's say that, but keeping your mind steady, not being defeated for the first set, not going in their favor, is the most important thing. They've got Dan out. I don't think they're gonna get a second stage, so let's keep focus on their next set, which is going to be the upcoming Dredge.
Dredge is definitely going to be an interesting set, and Spitz is actually choosing. He wants to go and loot Myers for a little bit. That's going to be the stun and the smash hit. Looks like we've got a little bit of 1v1 ladder here against the Michael. We don't need to escape. We're going to run him for the timer, it looks like.
Oh, going for a favorite lab, and oh no. Thankfully that hit went through. Spitz going for the window tag, which granted almost worked.
You tried, Spitz. You tried.
We love to see it. Even Flash, not the Blast Mine, is a funny thing to bring. I mean, it's one of the options you do have against the Tier 3 Myers. I've enjoyed this very much. Have you?
I think that was an awesome game, even though we saw Zaka completely obliterating set 1. I definitely think Rapture did fight back. They did get a kill in the end, which is definitely something to go into the next set with. That, you know, they didn't get 4 out. They actually were able to kill somebody and get one more survivor out. And definitely a very interesting perk build this time. I mean, we did have Trail, Play With Your Food, and Eruption, but that Darkness Revealed was definitely a very interesting one, which I've just gotten the statistics that it has only been played 2 other times. So it is definitely a bit of a niche perk, but I didn't see it come much into play, so.
Oh, it's the Dredge perk, so let's see if we're gonna see it played again on Dredge. Personally, kind of doubt it, but we'll see, right? And for now, we're gonna go into break. Don't go nowhere, because we will be back fast with set number 2.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to set number 2. We have the Dredge on Midwich. I didn't really expect anything other than Midwich, but here we are, nonetheless. We've already spotted a Hex Totem, and Dredge has already entered his first chase. He's found 2 survivors, and he's going to be chasing one of them down the steps. Dredge, this is a killer that we've not really seen that much. He's definitely on the weaker end, not as strong as some of the other killers, but I think we're going to have a performance here nonetheless. Eternal took the first set, and this is Rapture. And they're going to have a chance to prove to Eternal that this is their pick, and they're going to try and fight to win the second set and take it to the tiebreaker. We have Zaka in chase here. And in the desks, no pallet, nothing to really use here. It's going to be taking a tag. Sloppy Butcher on the Dredge, pretty common to see on M1 killers. Nonetheless, that is going to be a locker teleport right down to Zaka. I think we're going to see our first down, and there's actually somebody on a generator right. Oh, what a stun.
An important one as well. This is Zaka does have the deliverance. That's not the survivor you want to be in your first chase. Someone kind of needs to take his attention off of him if they want to save that second chance for him. But for now, I don't see any friends rotating in, which for Eternal, slightly unexpected. But Dan, the man who's usually the one they want to have chase on first. He's been chaser for them for a while now. He's been found kind of got Flix's attention caught on him now. And that's way better for Eternal now.
The daily curse is real, people, and if you say it's not, you obviously haven't watched enough DBDL, because it seems like every match, the daily survivor is always the first one to go. And that is going to be balanced landing on Dan, bringing the chase out a little more, and that's very good, considering Zaka is no longer being targeted, and he's actually going to get a heal up. No generators have popped yet. Very, very long first chases here. Eternal is doing really good to just loop this killer as well as they can and waste as much time. We have God Pallet breaking on the step. Nightfall is going to activate soon, and the Dredge is catching up with a locker teleport.
And now Dan's caught in an unfortunate corner. Sure, he was going to make his way out. We expect teleport, but it's only a fake. Now we got him backed into a corner and on the down. We have run across another Hex Totem, however. I expect Zaka to go for this because he did have the inner healing on him, but one generator close to completion. It's going to be trade one hook, one objective gen.
It is going to be our first generator popping, and with Nightfall active, we have the ability to zoom across the map like nobody has ever seen before. We're going to make our way right over to the generator that just popped. We have Eruption proc, so we can get it down, we can get some aggression, and some instant loss of progress. We're going to use Killer Instinct and find our next survivor, who's going for the save. That is Zaka with the Deliverance. He's going to be taking that tag. The save is going to go through, though, and we are going to actually chase out Zaka instead of going for the tunnel out.
Or maybe the best time to also quickly have a restart for our staff on the screen share, because we've had so much action going on. We need to kind of refreshen our senses a little bit. Zaka's on the hook, the second gen coming out as well. Flix has been doing a good job. However, I'd say Eternal for now are doing a good job as well, right?
I think the generators have been popping like crazy, and they did an amazing job with bringing out that first chase, and it took a long time for us to get the first hook. Even though we did get the injured, they were able to lose Zaka and find Dan, and here we are. We actually see Dan is in chase right now. We're going to go the long way, try and do a little mind game with the Remnant here. We need to try and get this down so we can get that second hook stage and get Dan on death hook, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Dan is going to be going down on the window. Both of our Hex Totems, both Ruin and Undying, have been cleansed, leaving us with only Sloppy Butcher and Eruption. So Gen Regression is going to be a little less now, and it is up to Flix to try and turn this game around and get a tunnel out as soon as possible.
Oh yeah, tunnel out, most important when, like you said, he's been reduced to only 2 of his perks remaining. Taking care of a couple of lockers here so he doesn't have too much trouble teleporting later on. Finding another gen with a third one popping right in the back. We do want some regress on this one, and preferably the Eruption drop. Then close to leaving the trial. Can you afford to camp him down right now?
I don't think we can. We've seen that 3 generators are popped, and 2 of them have a ton of progress. And Sloppy Butcher has not been putting out that much work because we have not gone and committed to anybody else other than Dan. So you can theoretically camp this person out and get them gone for the trial, but it's not going to help because a gen is just popped and more are on the way. You need to try and commit to a down to get the Eruption and to pressure these other survivors, or else you're going to get all of the gens completed and people are going to escape.
I mean, it makes sense for Zaka to go for the try. I mean, there could have been a better ball to block of Flix's pass, but Zaka was able to just slip by. Now a teleport, spotting both of the survivors who were working on that last gen. Important, but no matter who you're going to commit on that, gen's probably going to get finished. So maybe get a survivor out in a second one in the end game, but it's a gamble. Back to the gen we go. Another hit coming into Spitz. 3 survivors injured right now. Stakes are high, pressure's high on the survivors as well. Don't fumble this now. This could be an important snowball if Flix wants to make it happen. It's going to be now, and he spots the reset.
He finds the reset, and that's going to be massive because these survivors, not only is Sloppy Butcher putting in the work and making these resets take longer, but these generators are about to pop, and you can really see the coordination between Team Eternal. You see everybody running around this middle gen, trying to pressure it as much as possible. It's like a bunch of buzzards or vultures swarming their prey, and Flix is trying to keep up the pressure. He's trying to get the injures, trying to force the reset, but I don't think it's going to be enough, and I think the coordination is going to be too much, and this last gen is going to pop. We don't have the time to commit to anything, so we're not making any pressure, and we're only lengthening the game longer and longer.
Lucky Butcher, I guess the only thing that's really working for him right now. We do get a noise notification, trying to spot another reset here, possibly. Now going back for the gen, we do see the killer instinct popping off. That's another reset spot. Zarkov back to full health, however, and the second person was Dan injured now, but listen, this isn't going to be enough time. The pallet is dropped, he can't get it out of the way, and there's a second one. This loop is not going to be any fun for Flix, and even though Dan is going to go down here, it's only a matter of time for this last gen to pop. Nice, Dead coming out, another wall, even more time wasted for Flix. He's forced to go back.
I think this is really hurting, and even though this gen is not popped yet, I think these resets are really hurting, and the inability to commit to even not only a tunnel out on Dan, but really these downs and these hooks on anybody else. And the survivors are just too coordinated, and we're not really able to make much progress in taking anybody out or getting any hook states, and we don't have the time to commit to make sure we can get those. So I think this is just, there's a timer and the bomb is about to blow, and I think this game is about to be over.
It's such a difficult position to be in, right? Because on the one hand, you want a survivor out to have more pressure on the others, but if you don't have someone on hook, you don't have another objective for the survivors to focus on, so everyone's just going to be doing gens. You're in the worst position possible right now for Flix. Yes, he's getting injuries. Yes, he's kind of putting the pressure on them, but we've needed that pressure minutes ago, to be honest. I'm quite surprised, like you said, that there hasn't been the last gen popping for now, but maybe they're also setting up to get everyone out of the trial, so they're playing this very carefully. They don't want to make any mistakes, but care for them, right? Because with 4 survivors still standing, play it as safe as you want. You've got a lot of time.
We do, but we even see progress on another generator, so I think it's only a matter of time. We're starting to spread ourselves thin, trying to stop both generators from getting done, and really the tunnel out should have already happened. And we see in all these comp games, when these tunnel outs don't happen before the 3rd gen is popped, it's really gonna hurt, because having 4 different survivors pressuring 2 different gens, and you haven't been able to commit to any downs, and 3 out of 4 survivors are healthy, you're not going to be able to really do anything. There's just too much. You don't have the ability to keep up with the pressure on the generators. And there's a body block coming in, saving Dan. The tunnel out is not happening, and we're going to actually drop, going for Zaka, who will also be on Deathhook after this.
Shoulders head off, trying to follow it up, but we're not in a comfortable position for Zaka. One of the two is going to go out, unless it's a Nightlight. I'm going to come in for another block and another heal chain. But listen, at this point, Eternal, just sacrifice the 1 survivor. You got this going for you. It's not going to be a 4 out, but 3 people could be realistic. We see 2 on one side, the other one waiting to drop down to open another gate. Flix, however, has somewhat of a shortcut, technically, to go to the other side. But they're already on the gates. Crumbz, how many people are going to escape this?
I honestly think all 3 are going to get out. I can maybe see Dan going down here, but with 2 healthy survivors, I think they might try and go for the save if Dan is dead here, but we have 2 healthy survivors. I think we're going to see body blocks come in, and I think we're going to see all 3 of them get out of the exit gate. We do take this chase in courtyard. That is the gate open, and I think Flix realizes that he's not going to be able to commit to anybody before they escape, and I think he's trying to find Dan to stop him from getting out, but with 2 gates, I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I doubt it. We're gonna try and get the attention, maybe even running back in, but Flix knows what's happening here. Spit is trying to buy them more time, maybe to even get a reset on them, so it doesn't really matter. You can just take a hit and cross them. Flex knows that they're probably somewhere upstairs healing, or just trying to get to the other side ASAP. Dropping down, this gate hasn't been open yet. We found Nightlight, but Dan still nowhere to be found.
Very surprised we haven't seen Dan going for the other exit gate, but it looks like Dan might be at this gate over here. We have Nightlight being chased, and yeah, Dan is going to get out. Nightlight is going to take the tag and escape as well. That is going to be 3 out with how many stages? Three or four? At least 3.
5.
We did get the kill. 5 stages. Okay, 5 stages. Not a terrible result against Team Eternal, but another terrible win condition that I just don't think is going to last with Eternal. I think we might definitely see an easy 4K. We've seen it before, and we're going to see it now. Eternal knows how to play the Dredge.
Well, you said they know how to play him. I'm looking forward to see them. So, once again, ladies and gentlemen, we're going into a short break. Trial number 4, ladies, gentlemen, everyone all around and in between. Zaka coming in on the killer once again, trying to get the win condition. Just a quick reminder, Flick's got 2 fast hooks and then 5 stages on all gens were done, and Zaka going for a quick start over here, finding Flicks immediately.
I'm sorry about that, guys. Well, this game is so exciting that I guess my audio just decided it didn't want to play, so I could focus more on this incredible gameplay that we're witnessing right here. Everything lies on this game right here. Is Eternal going to pull through and finish the job and eliminate Rapture, or is Rapture going to maybe take it and have another chance in the tiebreaker set to win this game? With 5 hook stages, the win condition is definitely not favorable for them, but we've got a standoff at the pallet here, and Flicks is going to go down. With only 5 stages, it's definitely going to be very, very, very hard for Eternal to lose this. I mean, Rapture here has to get all 5 gens done and get people out with less than 5 stages, or equal to, depending on the fresh hooks we have. But with Noed in the mix, that's not going to happen. We're definitely going to see Eternal come through here. I think we already have 1 person on the hook. Not a single generator has popped yet. We do have Grim Embrace as well, which is going to be very nice to block all of those generators, and that works especially well with the Dredge. You can use your Nightfall to teleport to these lockers and block the generators as you do so. And we do hear possibly a save going in soon. We do have 2nd stage approaching, and without any gens popped, we do have the liberty to kind of just camp here and wait till 2nd stage to get this tunnel out.
He does have to teleport. Well, I was gonna say the lockers are close off for him. Boy, did rotate over to maybe go for a save, but we're not leaving yet, like you said. So a 2nd stage being forced on Flicks, and let's be honest, Sakai does have all the time in the world. We started off strong, and he showed us why he got his reputation as a monster. 2nd stage before a 1st gen pops, I'm assuming. That's honestly one of the best starts possible for them.
I think so. When it comes to comp DBD, tunnel outs are really the biggest factor. If you can get the pace and an early kill very, very early on, that's going to set the tone for the rest of the game with only 3 survivors to do the objective. And we see a 2nd stage, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Zaka just camps out the death here. He has plenty of time. 5 hook stages needed to tie and 6 to win. He can really just camp out for the kill, find somebody else, and do the same, and he will win the set. And even if all the generators get done, if by a miracle we don't have the win condition by the time endgame hits, we have Noed in our back pocket.
Well, let's not get too out of our day. We still have someone trying to go for the save and maybe even for a trade, but Gen pops. Blue Eye on the ground, another stage. It should be the generator. I was gonna say we're able to rescue themselves. We need the screenshot rescued in the meantime for us, but I'm sure we're gonna find the Flicks reset really quickly. That's at least a target for our survivors for now, if they don't get found again, which is the case. And now he's got to make a run of his life, and first survivor out of the trial completely. That would be horrible. But look at that, it's a mate coming in with the For the People. Hello, team play.
and that for the people is definitely going to hurt because, well, we just got smacked in the face by a hoof, a meat claw. I don't really know what the Dredge's weapon is, but I would hate to be struck down by it in the case that our survivor just did here. We already have plenty of hook states. Going for the flashlight save, it is not going to work out. I think we're at a very bad position here. We only have one generator popped, and hook stages are building up really rapidly, and it's hard to really fight against this because Zaka is kind of just proximity camping, kind of staying here to secure these stages, and no matter what you do, you're not really going to come out on top because if you do try and go for the save, you're probably going to have a trade, and that's just more hook states, and if you don't, the survivor is going to die and get the states anyway. So we're at a very bad standstill with this wind condition. Another generator popping, and we are going to try and go for the fresh hook onto Bowie, going upstairs. We see the scratch marks. We are hunting him down. And at this point, it's just a race of how long survivors can hold out before our wind condition freezes.
And it's Ryan on the task right now for Team Rapture, trying to get more time out for his own team, kind of rotating for the gen we've been before Zaka going in with the mine gun, but Ryan not getting caught off guard just yet. Another charge, but Ryan needs to be the man making it happen.
We definitely need to be very careful right now.
Pellet here. And another drop coming out.
This is the fourth stack of Grim Embrace, so once we see the hook here, that's 40 seconds that the survivors cannot work on the gens at all. And we do see a reset happening nearby. We might actually find that while we're going for the hook. And they do end up finding the reset over here. We were able to get the heal onto one of them, but Nathan is still injured, and that is another hook stage. We are 1 to 2 hook states away from the end of this game.
And we found ourselves another one. The fresh hook really coming in clutch here now, because if there's no tie condition now if we get enough hooks. So Zaka already doing most of the job for Team Eternal. Yes, 3 gens are done, but there's 2 more to go for the survivor. So let's see if they can make it happen. For now, it's another chase, but not too much at his disposal. Another pallet coming into play, but we just barely reach it. The window, nice one, extending this one even longer, going for a slow wall, but still it's going to be blocked. We're getting closer now, pallet drop coming in. What a great chase.
This is definitely giving the survivors a lot of time to get their objective done, and we definitely saw a lot of running there, and it definitely helps that even though we only have 2 generators left, the hook stages are mildly spread out. We only have 1 survivor, that's Flix, on death hook, so even if Zaka's able to get some hook stages, that still gives the survivors some room to go for the save and not really have anybody die.
But technically, stages are good for now.
That's all they need for the win condition, so it's definitely going to hurt.
Ryan needs to be on his A game, but there's only 2 people who'll be able to take a hit. However, Nathan is on the hook. He needs to be rescued as well. Maybe a reset. The gens, the objective, the stone stop coming. And with Ryan on the ground, yes, to the pilot, but is there anyone going to be there? Nope. No one to point to the face of basement at that, and with that, I think there should be a Team Eternal securing the second set for themselves. Keep in mind, it is a best of 5, so still everything's in the cards.
It is, so Rapture has a little bit of room to redeem themselves from the 2-0 that we've seen so far. Although with 2 generators left, you can't say they haven't put up a fight. They've definitely gotten their objectives with some progress, and they've definitely been strong against Team Eternal, but Zaka has earned his reputation as a monster, and I think we're going to definitely see the 4K before the end game even starts.
Oh, calling for the big shots. Let's see. Wouldn't be out of, well, out of common for Zaka to be able to bring a very dominant performance for now. They've made a name for themselves with going for everything possible. They're not just going to let them off nicely now that they've won the set. Zaka's going in for the next down, and Ryan still needs to be rescued with I was gonna say another survivor across the map going for the gem. We're hoping for the rescue now. However, 2 survivors still injured. Reset, very much necessary, but we found them both.
1 survivor dead and the reset found. It is not looking good, and right into the Dredge's arms. That's definitely been a reoccurring theme we've seen so far. And it is nightfall, so the undetectable is definitely helping out. We are going to go for the slug. I'm surprised we haven't seen a generator pop. We have had some good chases here, and I'm surprised that we haven't seen a little bit more progress yet, but we are going to go for the pickup. It's going to be the flashlight save coming in.
Let's go, bit of another to make the moment even sweeter. Getting a flashlight save on Zaka, almost as good as a win, I'm gonna say, but it's just going to extend the inevitable just one more time. We've seen them around. Zaka knows it's gonna be there again, but we're going for the pickup straight away, so that should mark another fresh hook. However, you said gens have been, well, kind of lacking. We do have 90% on one. But Ryan needs to keep it safe if he wants to escape this trial.
It's going to be another survivor on the hook. Everybody's death hook. So anybody that dies now is done for good. We do have the gen regression anti-kick. We really need to come up with a name for that. Anti-kick needs to be, like, we need a name for that. Either way, that gen is very high on progress, going to pop very soon. We have 3 survivors left. They need to have a reset if they want to waste even more time. And unfortunately, we are finding the next survivor. It's going to be balanced landing, giving a little bit more distance here. We are going to the bathroom. The pallet is still here, and we are able to make that. We're having a little bit of a remnant play here. Try to see if we can catch Ryan lacking. But looks like we're just gonna have to end up breaking the pallet. I don't think Zaka's gonna be able to get them down here.
Ryan's like, oh my bear. I got this for you, Crumbz. Once again, going in for a hug with the killer because, well, you know, like we've said, we love ourselves a good killer. So it's going to be another survivor leaving the trial 2, remaining both on gens that have quite a bit of progress on them. But like you said, the, I don't know, let's call it blockage. It's about to come in. We got another gen done. That's 1 for the good feelings. Please behind himself from Zaka. Well, I was gonna say.
Oh, Zaka knows. I think we're in a really bad stretch here because with only 2 survivors left and 2 gens, even though they do have very high progress, you're not going to be able to pop those last 2. You have both survivors injured. One of them now on the hook. I don't think we're gonna. Oh well, yeah, no, it doesn't matter. It's just dead. Flix is just dead. It's now only up to Bluey, and I don't think he's gonna be able to get a gen done. I think Zaka's gonna find him and hunt him down. And obviously, hatches and escapes without all the gens completed do not count, and this will still be a 4K either way. So I think Zaka's definitely put in the work this trial, but I think Rapture has definitely shown that they are worthy of fighting against the Eternal, because 1 generator, I will have to admit, that is a pretty good result, even if it is a 4K. 4K1 on Zaka, especially since the first set was a 4K3. I think they definitely redeemed themselves a little bit.
Putting him in the middle with the Mori coming in. Let's take it all in. Dredge.
That skin is disgusting.
Finishing off the job on Team Rapture. Eternal now in front. 2 map points taken. We are crossing the borders to match point. Just a quick reminder, we still have an Oni trial coming up. Again, Eternal's pick, by the way, so stakes are as high as ever. If they manage to get that one, we possibly could have another Myers, a tier 1, that is, and a Nemesis. Personally, I am very, very excited for the Oni. So without further ado, let's go into a little break so we can be back ASAP.
Welcome back to the Oni set. I'm excited for it. I know you're excited for it. We have Eternal on the Oni. This is the 3rd set. Eternal has won both sets with both Myers and Dredge so far, so we're going to see who's able to come out on top this one, and we have our first chase already. And first chases are very important on the Oni. It's all about that first hit to get the power. We have Eruption, Grim, Corrupt, and No Way Out is a good endgame perk here. But Nazon is doing a pretty good job of looping at the start. What do you think is going to happen with this first chase? How long do you think Eternal is going to be able to last here?
Oh, that was cold, Crumbz. Another swing and a miss for Zaka. Nazon doing a good job. And to answer your question, well, Nazon has to go for a long time because, like we know, on the Oni set, you're kind of relying on the survivors to make a mistake. You want that first hit coming in as fast as possible. Nazon now rotating over towards another survivor. Not the optimal scenario, but we don't care as long as that first hit doesn't come out. Both of them being on the shack, not the best situation, but I think we've switched targets.
Indeed, we do switch targets here. We have 2 survivors at Shack, which now that the Oni is in main, we're probably going to see a double up, and that gen is going to pop very soon. We have not gotten a hit yet, and gens have a ton of progress. Another stun coming in. The survivors are not playing around this game. They're going to make Zaka work for this hit. They are not going to give it away for free. And you're right, it's definitely all about the mistakes on the survivor side for this first hit and to get the power, and there it is coming out on Flicks.
Oh, stopping by to kick a gen. Flicks being injured, but too many gens have been progress. Zaka going in for a second first hit to get that blood supply going, but it's another one he has to work for. This might not be the best point for a chase for Zaka. However fast he needs to make distance. We got the balance landing coming in, and that's very beneficial for Team Rapture. They're putting up a great job if they can get the gens out in time as well.
A lot of swing and misses coming in here. We're definitely seeing Generator progress a ton compared to when we first saw the Generators in the first 2 sets. So Rapture is definitely starting to turn around their game plan here, and we're seeing a lot of efficiency on the objective with only 1 injure. Our previous injure getting healed. Another swing and a miss coming out. Zaka, please don't go into baseball.
He's still used to being on a bit more ping, I guess, but oh, we've spotted Bue. He's full life, so we're gonna pop that Fury. The pallet is dropped. We're going around, switching directions, trying to go for the mind game, but we're getting stuck on one corner. Not taking out the pallet just yet. Oh, we're doing such a good job. Oh, we're busting ring around, roll, see the pallet. What's happening? I'm sorry. Oh, I was gonna say. We played Zaka pretty good until one tiny mistake. Oh, lost 50-50, if you will. To be fair.
Definitely. We've definitely seen, I don't know what's going on, but Generators are having a ton of progress. The objectives are on a speed run with these survivors, and we're only now getting our first hook. What is happening? Is this even Team Rapture anymore? If the teams swapped, what is going on?
Huh. They're doing an amazing job. Let's see if they can keep this going, because it is match point if Eternal wins this. Our first matchup of the day, the first of 3, by the way, would have already been finished. But Zaka still has a long time to go now. The blood supply has been coming in, and we know Oni is known for snowballs, so let's not count them off just yet. A little bit of sprinter saving over there.
Definitely see this hook in a very good position. We've got 2 high progress gens very close to it, and if we are able to get this power soon, we're going to be able to not only deny a save, but possibly go for 2 hooks at once. And especially with the no way out, fresh hooks are going to be very important for the end game and hoping to secure the 4K. We have a lot of going back and forth here. We are being very patient with that sprint burst, saving it for when it is needed most. We're trying to camp out this second stage here, and a second gen has popped.
You love to see it though, the discipline, not panicking, keeping a keen mind with the sprint burst as well, or just not feeling like you have to move away too much. Zaka knows if he gets this gen, he's just got to rotate in to try and keep it going. It's a good spot for him, camping the gen and the hook. I think it's even 2 gens, right?
Yes, it is. There's a gen right here, and there's also another one that is behind him. We see the anti-kick blockage coming in here on main, and the survivors can't really go for a save because Zaka's just going to activate his power, and that's going to be an instant down. So we're seeing generators pop here, and you have to wonder if this is the right play. With all the generator progress that you've seen, is it really smart to sit here and camp out this tunnel out when the survivors are just free to do whatever? Although there is a 3-gen here, so I think Zaka knows what he's doing.
Also, the no way out you've mentioned, I think Zaka's chilling because we've got one survivor out, 2 gens to go. Hopefully still, I was gonna say another one might pop. Okay, 1 gen to go. We got a no way out and his fury on hand. He still can snowball this into oblivion.
I think it's definitely turned around a little bit, even though it seemed like everything was going against him. Zaka has been hiding in the shadows, his master plan coming to the light now as we see the 3-gen plus the tunnel out very early. It's going to be hard for these survivors to get this last gen done and enter the end game without some serious punishment. But we do have a pretty good setup here. We still have our Blood Fury, and we see some blood here. We're trying to find the survivor to take out. We need our next victim here, and we need to try and find them soon.
We've heard a locker, I think. There was a little bit of that squeaky sound. We can't go through all of them. Indeed, we don't even need to because Fascia has been found, but we're still trying to check the gens because this, in the main chat, he just has too much progress, and there he is. That might have been the cheeky one hiding in the locker, trying to bait out another swing from Zaka, but this time he's not falling for it.
No, he's not. We definitely haven't seen too much commitment here. We're really trying to hold down these generators and find the perfect opportunity to get an easy insta down with our power, and we find it right here with Fast on this window tile, and we're trying to go for the flick right into the window. Why do people like running into the killer?
I mean, I've played my case once, Crumbz. I'm not gonna do it again.
That is the second stack of No Way Out here, and we're still holding down this 3-gen. We only have a little bit of progress, and Grim Embrace is coming in again. We have, I think that's Nazon sitting here at the middle, trying to use the sprint burst. It's exhausted right now, but he's trying to get this main gen done, and it has half progress, so that's definitely the one that they need to pressure to get done now. We are trying to camp out the hook, and we do find the other survivor working on this back gen. I think we might see a save go through here.
I'd love to work with another hit. Fury there. Oh, the chase has been very close to the hook. No real opportunity for Felix to come in and go for the save, and now we're close to second hook. He did prepare. It might be a trade, whatever the Zaka decides to do. Seems to be indecisive. He knows where all of the 3 survivors are. 2 of them injured, one's in mending, and Felix possibly working on the last gen. There is a D-strike still in play, and God knows Zaka is aware of it. Changing over the last gen, close to being done. This is a clutch situation if they can get this done. Maybe even adrenaline popping. Let's see if we can do it.
With Amendin and injured, we can definitely assume that the reset is happening right now. So it is all up to Flix to try and survive and to buy as much time. That is not going to happen. It is going to be the instant down. But the main generator is going to pop. Zaka is not able to make it.
Flix on the ground. Fascia and Chase still in mending. We got all the generators done, which is so important for Team Rapture. They had a very good run at the first place. Now the hedge comes into play, ladies and gentlemen, because all the gens have been done. Nathan also a fresh hook, so keeping him off of the eyes of Zaka is the most important task right now. But look at this, Flix up and running again.
Back up, bounce landing is not going to help out there, as that's going to be another down. And I think you're right, the hatch is going to be massive here because the survivors do not know about No Way Out, which only has 2 stacks, so it will not be as detrimental as a 4-stack No Way Out, but No Way Out is No Way Out nonetheless. And with 2 injured survivors and 1 on the ground and another being found, I think time is really the #1 thing here.
Oh, close one. Escape just about now. The no way out still running around, so no gates are being opened yet. However, there could be rotation coming into Fasty, picking him up the ground. Now Zaka knows again where all the survivors are located, or at least somewhat, because we remember where we've left them. The scratch marks give it away. We found them. This time, no corn blindness for the killers, because we know he's too experienced for that. The window vault, not an option for Fasty, and he goes back onto the ground again, but gates can be opened now.
Yeah, stuck in that hallway. There's definitely not much you're going to be able to do. And with the power running out, it's going to be a lot harder to stop these gates from being opened. And with Fast on the ground is the only non-fresh hook, with the other two survivors being injured and not having any hooks at all, you wonder if they're going to try and go for the save or if they're just going to try and go out if they can.
Honestly, go out if you can, but for Zaka, it's getting that fresh hook survivor preferably, and best case scenario, Fasty as well. Depends on where he's located. If he's close to the open gate, maybe, but look at that. Flicks maybe going out, both of the fresh hook survivors out the gate. That is huge. Fasty could be lucky on the hatch. Don't think he's going to be, but that already is really great.
That is definitely
outcome for Team
massive.
Rapture.
That is definitely massive that we were able to see both the fresh hooks get out. That is going to be 6 stages out against Zaka. So this set is very winnable for Rapture if they can put up a good performance against the survivors of Eternal. And if they can keep the momentum that the survivors have given the killer for such a good win con, I think we can see this set and this entire game, this match in general, go on for longer than we thought.
Oh, absolutely. Like, remember, like, my thought process was if they're gonna win any of these sets, it's going to be the Dredge. You were a bit more optimistic than that, and I guess I have to give you more credit, because the only set I didn't see going as well. I didn't think it was gonna go as well as it did for Team Rapture. It's gonna come down to how well the survivors of Team Eternal will be coordinated in the next trial, and we know they are very, very well at that.
Definitely, and especially with all their juicing, they should be able to open a lemonade stand or something with how much time they can waste. And I think this match, what really led to how many generators got done and the progress was how long the early game was before that first hook came in, which really just, I feel like the first chase always sets the tone for the rest of the match. So if Eternal is able to bring it out on the survivor side, then I think we're definitely going to see Rapture in trouble.
Do you think Team Rapture expected this map to be brought out? Do you think they're prepared?
I mean, from what I've seen of the Oni, I've definitely seen a lot of Coldwind Farm, and I'm not sure if they expected it, but it definitely seems like they were able to roll with it considering how well they performed this match. So whether they expected it or not, they definitely did really, really well. And this was Eternal's pick, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if they expected it, but Eternal was definitely probably a little, even though they did still have a decent result, I can imagine Eternal is a little disappointed with the performance that they had on their own killer and their own map pick.
Yeah, they've tried really hard, especially in the end game. We saw Zaka really trying to go for another fresh egg survivor and almost didn't make it, but he managed. 2 kills done, but all the gens as well completed. 2 outs is one hell of a win con. So let's see how the survivors of Team Eternal are gonna do after a short break. Match point. Flex on the killer side needs to save it for Team Rapture, or we have a moving on Eternal, and Eternal is going to face Severance later tonight again. Who is it going to be, and are we gonna get another Myers? And as much as I have trust in Eternal, I really want to see a Tier 1 Myers.
I do as well, and I think Rapture definitely set up the possibility of that with the 4K, or not the 4K, with the 2 survivors out, with the 6 stages, 5 gens. This is definitely winnable, and I could see this going either way.
Let's see how coordinated our survivors are. For now, no one's getting found. It always gives me a throwback to like 2019, waiting out Corrupt. Oh, Spitz. dangerously close. Maybe moved a bit too much, dropping the pellet in, and the first chase starts right off the bat. Ooh.
Yes, it does, and we're having a little bit of fake out here, running to the next tile. Tried to drop the pallet for the stone, but it did not work out. We are going to make this next pallet. No swing and a miss this time. We've got a little bit more discipline here, and we're just gonna run around this tile, try and really this is what we need here. A long beginning game chase, something that Rapture was able to have last time, and if we're able to see Eternal draw that out now, it's going to give them a much better chance of winning the trial.
This is so close, but Spitz is a chooser. Look at this, the mind games. He's winning, and now he technically has time to move on to another tile. Maybe breaking the pellet back to Kausha. There's no pellet anymore, but he's doing an amazing job with what he had. What the hell?
Brutal Strength is definitely doing a little bit here, which I just noticed that. So that pallet is going to break a little bit faster, but without anything except a window to work with here, it's definitely going to be up to Spitz to try and make this work and to just deny this hit. He is juicing right now. We are taking all the smoke here, running this guy as much as we can. Flix is having a hard time getting this first hit, but we do eventually have it going through. With Jen's about to pop on the first hit.
Look at that, Team Eternal on the objective being very performative. 2 gens popping immediately before the first down, and there's a third coming in as well. Spitz going down in the corner gives them even more time. But what a start for the survivors of Team Eternal.
I don't think that chase could have gone any better for the survivors or any worse for the killers, for that matter. We have 3 generators popped on the first hook. Although do remember the win condition is 6 stages with 2 fresh, so we need to either get 2 eliminations or 7 total stages. This is going to be a strange game here. This could go either way, and even though Eternal has popped out a ton of gens, the win condition is definitely set up for a possibility of a win, and we do have the power coming out here. The pigs are in the way, but we're going to try and commit to this with the down on the demon dash.
And we've been here before, a little bit of a swing and a miss. Zaka in the chase right now, being the obsession, gets a little time to breathe. We might need that as well, maybe a little restart, but for now, Flick still on the lookout. Nightlight's been found on the shack. The project can stand off for the pellet, saves him, +5 wood. Apply to the face with a blind as well. Reblind coming in. Someone's juicing once again. Back in the footprints of Spitz. Team Eternal presenting themselves from the best side possible.
Team Eternal is definitely not going to give this easy. Even if the win condition is only 6 stages, they are going to make every single stage be hard worked for by Flix. And we're actually going and chasing somebody new, and I think the tunnel out is really what we need here. So chasing Nightlight might not be our best decision.
He's injured though, works his way back to the pellet. Back to playing baseball like you said earlier, but maybe this could be another corner. We're not gonna make a way around, and another down coming in. But the 4th gen as well might be a moment for us to refresh, because the 5th gen has popped.
This is taking me back to a previous Oni game I saw where it was Eternal on the survivors, and I can't remember who they were playing, but it was like 2 stages, and it looks like we're having a deja vu right here. We have Nightlight on the hook, and the Oni is nowhere to be seen, and a gate is opened, and they're just gonna leave, I think. I don't see any reason to go back for the save.
Little cuddle on the way out. Awkward moment waiting.
Sit at the gate, trying, you know. I think they're very happy about this trial, and I think that little cuddle moment showed it. They were definitely happy with their teamwork this game.
I mean, they can be so happy with themselves. It's a 4th stage, so you know what that means. It's Team Eternal redeeming themselves. They've lost in the upper bracket to 3 maps versus 2, but this time they take it 3-0. So they are gonna move on to the next round of our lower bracket, and they will be facing Severance as in our last best of 5 of today.